Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tower of God chapter 356. So season 2 episode 276. Either way, great chapter once again this week, like most weeks. Let's discuss it part by part so I don't forget anything. Rachel still wants to get into the other world. Of course, we know that from the end of last chapter. But she says she's looking for people, and I feel like she's looking for Wangnan and Yura, not Bomb's group, because Wangnan and Yura are very useful to her, maybe White as well, like I said, if Joaquin is actually there. Chung says, no, you can't, or it'll mean trouble. Of course, people can't meddle between the two hidden floors. Rachel, I like this, though, when she's thinking to herself, and she says, I know I can't get to Zahard alone. I'm just some regular intruder right now. I have no big name. I am not from the 10 great families. I'm not a princess or anything. So I can't just get to Zahard without a little bit of help. I'm not going to be able to do it alone. So she needs to have some allies with her. And she's like, I need to find a way to get my allies and bring them over to the hidden floor. All that's great. Her Minazuki stops Chung from stopping her putting on the helmet. She goes through a character creation like you would see in a normal video game or something, and she wakes up to a rat rushing at her. We jump from there to see this side of the story from Bomb's point of view. So that we have Yu Han Sung continuing with his theories of how this world works and how they're going to get to the other one. He says that they need to cross without the big breeders, though. The big breeders can cross between worlds, but they're kind of dangerous, and alerting them to what they're doing really isn't going to help them very much. So he says that he knows the location of the last 10 family head that's in the hidden floor. Not the hidden floor, but the just normal hidden floor. No clue why there's one of the 10 family heads still there, or which one it is. There are a million theories you could get into. So I don't even have a guess. Like I said, there's a million theories. It could be one we haven't met yet. It could be Popet Augustin, because he's waiting there to help whoever it is to go get it. Why would he be able to do that? Who knows? He shouldn't really be able to do that, since you can't come back after becoming a ranker, and it's just the young version of him. Could be the young version of Khun's father, so that we see the interactions between them. It could be so many different things. There's no real solid guess, because Siu could write it to be anything. He could write it to make it be any 10 family head, and it would make sense because we know so little about them. He could give them any explanation that would work. So I have no clear guess here. Bomb's gauge thingy is black, so he can summon the real Grand Quest. But for some reason, this made me think, as I was going through and taking notes and rereading a bunch and all that, why, if his gauge is black, meaning he's sort of disturbed the balance, he's done things that are ungood. If that is the situation, then why has his sworn enemy just not shown up to stop? Why, if they just fought the big breeder, they just stood up to the big breeder, why on earth are all their sworn enemies not just there right now to stop them? That was like the whole point of the sworn enemies. So I have no clue why they're not there. That's kind of a big thing for me, honestly. Why are the sworn enemies just not... I'd get it if Siu had explained more limitations and all that on the sworn enemies, but we don't know any limitations that explain why aren't they just there to stop them. They are going against the flow and balance of the place. That doesn't quite make sense. The quest is just rats everywhere, giant rats everywhere. So Yu Han Sung and Andrasi are going back to the quarantine area, and they do make it there, and while they do that, Bomb's group just takes out all the rats. Hockney sees one of them running away, and Bomb chases after it, and that's what connects us into Rachel's spawning scene when she wakes up and that rat is running towards her. So she takes out the rat, and she's probably, and I think this is going to be really cool, because they can make the argument now that Rachel in this world, because she's using that avatar like a big breeder does, she could be as strong as a big breeder here. So what we're seeing is a complete fantasy play for Rachel. She's what she wishes she looked like. She's as strong as she could possibly be because she has a big breeder's powers. So this is Rachel's fantasy of her being strong and good looking, and I find that so interesting. Rachel's story in this arc is probably my favorite just because you can hate Rachel for what she's done, but it makes her a damn good antagonist or bad guy, or even like an unclear kind of bad guy. Rachel's just a great character because she can be that good a bad guy. So yeah, I kind of love that. I love how this is just a fantasy play for her. So yeah, Bomb ends up there face to face with Rachel's fantasy self, and what I think will probably happen is that she'll end up joining with them under the pretense of not being Rachel, and she'll just be like, yay, I just showed up on the hidden floor as well. I just finished the Hell Train as well. Hello, fellow children. So I kind of feel that's what Rachel's going to go for. And for the blog, CU said that he's going to see a sick grandmother. That's a kind of dark and depressing turn for this review. But he says that, so I don't know if that'll affect the schedule any. But getting into the actual chapter stuff he talked about, he says that Rachel has a complex about her appearance. We've seen it before when she was like, if I looked like you, Andraste, I'd be able to get away with a lot of stuff. You've been able to get away with a lot of stuff because of your appearance. Even if that's not quite true, that's what Rachel thinks, and we've seen her already thinking that. She has that complex about the way she looks. And CU also says that there's going to be some more interesting stuff with the quests as the quests get to be a higher level. Right now, the quests are just boring, whatever level stuff. And he also says, last thing he said that was of importance is that Rachel's going to be the wild card in Bomb's group's plot this arc. So I think that's really cool. We're going to have Rachel traveling with them as her fake self, and she's really going to be the wild card there. I think that's great, to try to sabotage them or to possibly even help them because it helps her. So yeah, my thoughts on it. I love the current story. I thought Rachel's involvement with this is super interesting and will be super interesting. Yeah, a big thing I thought were the sworn enemies, of course. Why aren't they spawned in? They're kind of going against the grain. But maybe because they're going against the grain by going towards the original grain, maybe that's why it doesn't summon them. It's kind of confusing. Like I said, we just haven't had an explanation is all. I also wonder what could happen with Yu Han Sung and Andraste. A lot could happen there, because if that guy is still there and he ends up taking out Yu Han Sung, then they don't know where the guy is anymore. They don't know where the Ten family head is. Or maybe they just find all the dead people and it leads to a mystery of, hey, all our allies were killed, now we got to figure out what happened to them. Or it could lead to them meeting up with the guy and the guy doesn't kill them and saves them for later. And I think it would be cool if, I think Andraste should recognize him. But this isn't his data version, so this wouldn't be a younger version of him. This isn't a data version, this is a sworn enemy version. I didn't think of it that way. So yeah, he would recognize Andraste if he is her sworn enemy. I was just thinking of him as a data copy. But now that I think of him as a sworn enemy, yeah, he should have all his memories that he would have from... He's like Andraste's vision of him. So the version of him in here should be how Andraste sees him, and his strength should be how Andraste sees his strength. So that's actually pretty cool, seeing that the character here is possibly not going to be very much at all. Even his personality could be very much different on the outside, the real him, but this version in here, because it's Andraste's sworn enemy, and this is just me making the assumption that it's her sworn enemy. But if he is, then his personality here is just what she thinks of his personality. So that's a really cool thing to think about. Another thing that's a question that I have that I'm left with is I'm wondering if Miyayum and or Batis will still continue to travel with Bomb's group. Because you think if Batis doesn't, he can't really safely stay there, because whenever Chung comes back, Chung would be after him. And of course, he doesn't know that Chung is sort of disposed at the moment. So yeah, he doesn't know that at the moment. So Bottas logically should want to keep traveling with Bomb's group even though Rose just died, because it's not safe for him and Medley to stay there. And on the other side of things with Miyayum, Miyayum doesn't have as much a reason to travel with him anymore, I guess. She still could. I kind of see her still traveling with him more than I see Bottas even. But she has less of a reason now, I guess. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what becomes of Miyayum and Bottas here moving forward. But either way, that's it. I'm going to give it 8.5 avatars out of 10. I thought it was a really good chapter. Did what the usual chapters this arc do, in that it was good and it moved the plot forward. So that's it. Thank you once again for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff with the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server, just ask and I can give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.